Hi everybody, and welcome to my monthly update. Vietnam witnessed another stellar month of performance in June and was once again successfully ignored by foreign investors. Nevertheless, the index climbed to a new record high, and this was despite trading volume slowing a little bit, and the market breadth, so the advanced decline ratio, was disappointingly flat. This makes us even more proud to be able in this environment to outperform the market and show strong gains again of plus 8.4%. The NAV of the AFC Vietnam Fund stands now at $3,040, which brings up the year-to-date performance to plus 32.9%. Hi, my name is Andreas Vogelsanger. I'm the CEO of the AFC Vietnam Fund. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and switch on the notifications so you don't miss any new uploads. Okay, so let's talk what happened in June in Vietnam. Sector rotation led to profit taking in banks, which were the main driver of index gains in 2021 so far. We took some profits early enough in our bank holdings and therefore were able to add money to the insurance sector, which started to perform very well in June. Vietnam's insurance market has grown significantly faster than other countries in the region. Currently, around 70 insurance enterprises are operating in Vietnam, with total assets of just around $25 billion, according to numbers from 2020. The sector is still in its early growth phase, where around 12 million Vietnamese out of 100 million roughly have bought life insurance. But, for example, only around 4% have bought health insurance. So you can see there is still huge potential in that market. So here you see a chart of ABI, Agriculture Bank Insurance, since May 2017. Trading on Upcom, and LPB, Yen Viet Post Bank, since November 2020, trading on HOSE, so Vietnam Stock Exchange. This catch-up from an undervalued to a fair valuation has always been the main arguments for our fund to hold this position in ABI. We were looking for growing companies trading at a discount to the sector and the market. Early investors might remember our thesis, how an expansion in the valuation is far more important for the performance than the undervaluing growth in earnings. Now, while our scenario drawn 2060 has occurred, and despite the average PE of our portfolio having moved from only 7 times to almost 10 times since 2016, we updated this 5-year plan with present data to show still the enormous potential of the AFC Vietnam Fund. But to explain this impact from in terms of revaluation, we can take the example of ABI. If earnings would just grow 12% annually over the next 5 years, net profits would have grown 76% over a 5-year period, meaning that on stable valuations of currently around 7 times earnings in the stock, price should be 76% higher. So as you can see on this table, the current price we assumed is around 60,000, and the numbers here shown a P of 7, a P of 5, P of 10, P of 14 and 19, where the stock would be trading in 2026. So with earnings growth alone, with stable valuation, we would be 76% higher, so around 98,000 Vietnamese dong from 60,000 currently. So, but ABI. But what we think really is that ABI, the market will recognize the value of the stock, and ABA will gradually revalue to the market average, which currently is around 19 times earnings. In such a scenario, the stock would trade 344% higher than in 5 years from today. So you look on this table, you see the P of 19 equates to 266,269 Vietnamese dong from currently 60,000. So a significant gain in terms of revaluation, in terms of PE, price earnings ratio. And in the same way we did this calculation back in 2016, we have updated the possible scenarios, price scenarios for our fund and its holdings, currently trading at an average of 10 times earnings. Based on our conservative earnings growth calculation of 12%, we see the potential performance of the various PE adjustments over the next 5 years. So, as you can see on this table, we are currently trading at a PE of 10. But we really think that there is a good chance that we increase the PE, let's say, to 14 or even to 20 times. And what that means in terms of price performance of our fund for the next 5 years, a PE of 14 would mean 250% from here, and a PE of 20 would mean 350%. So a significant gain still to come if we would see a revaluation, which we assume we will be. So let's talk about ESG. As investors in Vietnam, it's our liability to take ESG into account when it comes to investment decisions. We wrote about ESG now for the last few months, and I think it's really a quite important topic and ever growing. So China is, for example, a very good example of what politically and collectively motivated country can achieve in terms of really turning things around. And Vietnam has already become a manufacturing powerhouse, often as a cheaper alternative to China, but therefore in urgent need to upgrade its infrastructure. Its middle class should double over the next 10 years from around 1/3 of the population to 2/3 of the population. And obviously the population is around 97 million people, so almost 100 million people, so that's quite a significant number of people. All of this will increase its ever-growing hunger for more consumer spending, electricity, and unfortunately also pollution. Learning from the experience and mistakes of the economic miracle of its big neighbor China, Vietnam will hopefully manage to execute its environment and social issues better. In the Western investment world, ESG has seen huge money inflows and produced outstanding returns for investors, while in developing countries, impact of performance could be even higher in the long term. Since the growth needs is overproportionate in terms of investments in green industries in order to reduce the risk that pollution gets out of control. It's therefore just an obvious consequence to see the government prioritizing green initiatives in the energy sector, which attracts billions of dollars in various green projects. So on this picture you see Thang Long Wind, 11.9 billion, 3.4 gigawatt offshore plant, which is being built in the central province of Binh Thuan. And there are various projects which are currently being built. We are actually looking at a company quite closely, which we took an investment in, which is TVII. It's the name is Power Engineering Number 2 Consulting Company. And TVII is the leading green player or energy player in Vietnam. It's a leading EPC contractor, so EPC stands for engineering, procurement and construction, and consulting in building green energy plants such as solar, wind and biomass power. Over the last 10 years, TVII has been a pioneer in green power consulting. Most of the big hydro, solar and wind power projects in Vietnam have been designed by TVII. The company invested aggressively in human resources and R&D in order to keep its growth and competitiveness and market share, of course, and was able to show impressive growth in net revenues and net profits over the last 10 years, as you can see from this table here. So just to give you some examples, so this is, for example, Maison, a 3.1, the number of Maison is 3.1, a solar farm designed and built by TVII, which is 50 megawatt total investment and a capital of 1.1 trillion Vietnamese dong. Vietnam is a manufacturing hub with a high economic growth rate, which unfortunately also generates as increasing greenhouse gas output, similar to what we have seen in China 20 years ago. The strong, fast economic growth rate has turned China into one of the largest CO2 producers in the world. And in order to improve their carbon footprint, Vietnam has huge demand for green and renewable energy companies, such as, for example, TVII. This is one of the main reasons why we decided to invest in TVII. And besides the fact that TVII is grossly undervalued, the company is trading at the PE of only 7.7 times, a price book of 1.7 times, and the total market cap of the company is around $87 million US. We really strongly believe that TVII will continue to grow rapidly in the future and attract more and more investors, particularly international investors, of which many of them are looking for investments in attractive ESG companies. Here on this table you see the key figures of this company. And yes, so this is really an investment which we think which is just typical for our ESG approach in Vietnam, and we will do more such investments over the coming months. So this was all from me. Thank you very much for listening, and you will hear from me again next month when I provide you with a July update. Thank you very much and have a nice day. Bye bye.